Everyone told me I was successful. I had the job, the money, the respect, everything people spend their lives chasing. But one night, sitting alone in a quiet room, I realized something terrifying. The life I worked so hard to build didn't feel like my own. No one warns you about this. They tell you success will make you happy. They don't tell you what it takes away. In this video, I'm going to tell you the truth about success, the cost no one talks about, the years you don't get back, and why chasing the wrong version of success can quietly ruin your life before you even realize it's happening. Everyone told me I was successful. I had the job, the money, the respect, everything people spend their lives chasing. But one night, sitting alone in a quiet room, I realized something terrifying. The life I worked so hard to build didn't feel like my own. No one warns you about this. They tell you success will make you happy. They don't tell you what it takes away. That's what this video is about. Not motivation, not hustle, the truth. When we are young, success is painted like a beautiful picture. Study hard, get a good job, work harder than everyone else, climb higher, earn more, and one day, happiness will arrive. I believed this completely. As a young man, I woke up every morning with one goal: move forward. Forward in my career, forward in income, forward in status. I measured my life in promotions, titles, and numbers. Every raise felt like proof that I was doing something right, and society rewarded me for it. People said things like, "You're doing great. You've made it. You're successful." No one ever asked me if I was happy, and honestly, I never asked myself either. Because when you're busy chasing success, you don't have time to think. You're always rushing to the next thing, the next deadline, the next goal, the next level. And that's how the trap works. Success doesn't arrive suddenly. It slowly tightens around your life. At first, it feels exciting. You work late, but it feels worth it. You skip a weekend, but you tell yourself it's temporary. You miss a dinner, a birthday, a moment, but you promise you'll make it up later. Later becomes a powerful lie. I used to tell myself, once I reach this level, I'll slow down. Once things are stable, I'll spend more time with family. Once I'm secure, I'll finally enjoy life. But every time I reached a goal, another one appeared. More responsibility, more pressure, more expectations. Success never says, "You've done enough." It always asks for more. And slowly, without realizing it, I stopped living my life. I started managing it. My days became schedules. My conversations became rushed. My relationships became something I fit in between meetings and fatigue. I was present, but not really there. What scares me now is how normal it felt back then. Everyone around me was doing the same thing. We were all exhausted, stressed, and proud of it. We wore burnout like a badge of honor. If you're tired, it means you're working hard. If you're busy, it means you're important. If you're overwhelmed, it means you're successful. No one tells you that constant exhaustion is your body warning you. No one tells you that missing your own life is not a sign of achievement. I remember coming home late one night. The house was quiet. Everyone was asleep. I sat down in the dark, still wearing my work clothes, and felt something I couldn't explain at the time. Not sadness exactly, not anger, just emptiness. I had done everything right, and yet something felt wrong. That was the first crack. But I ignored it. That's another part of the trap. Success teaches you to ignore your inner voice, to push through discomfort, to silence doubts, to keep going no matter what. So I kept going. Years passed quickly, faster than I realized. People around me aged. My parents grew older. My children grew up. Moments slipped by quietly, without asking permission. And still I told myself, I'm doing this for them. That's one of the most dangerous lies success gives you, that you're sacrificing for the future, that one day everyone will understand. But time doesn't wait for explanations. One day you look back and realize the cost was never discussed. The long hours, the missed conversations, the distance that slowly formed in relationships, the version of yourself you no longer recognize. Success takes payment in advance, and it charges interest. What hurts most isn't that I worked hard. Hard work isn't the enemy. What hurts is that I worked hard for things that didn't love me back. Titles don't sit with you in silence. Money doesn't laugh with you. Achievements don't hold your hand when life gets heavy. I had collected proof of success, but lost touch with meaning. And here's the part no one likes to hear. Most people don't realize this until it's too late. They reach the top of the ladder and finally look around, only to discover it was leaning against the wrong wall. You can't rewind time. You can't relive missed years. You can't buy back presence. That night, sitting alone, I asked myself a question I had avoided my entire life. If this is success, why do I feel so empty? That question changed everything. In the next part, I'll tell you about the hidden costs of success, the ones no one prepares you for, the ones you only notice when they've already taken something from you. If you're listening to this while resting, while driving, or before sleep, don't rush past these thoughts. Sometimes the most important truths arrive quietly.
Success doesn't fail you all at once. It takes from you slowly, quietly, almost politely. At first, you don't notice the cost. You're too busy building, too focused on progress, too distracted by applause. But success always sends the bill later. I didn't lose everything in one dramatic moment. I lost it in small pieces. A conversation I postponed, a phone call I didn't return, a weekend I promised but didn't show up for, a moment when someone needed me and I wasn't really there. These don't feel like losses at the time. They feel like sacrifices, responsible choices, adult decisions. That's what makes them dangerous, because sacrifices are supposed to lead to something better. But what if they don't? One of the first things success takes is time. Not hours, years. Time you think you'll get back later. I used to believe time was flexible, that I could always make up for it. But time isn't flexible. It's non-refundable. Every late night at work quietly replaces a night at home. Every postponed trip replaces a memory that never happens. Every not now slowly becomes never. You don't notice time leaving because it doesn't leave loudly. It slips away while you're busy planning for the future. Then there's health. No one warns you that your body keeps score. Stress doesn't disappear after success arrives. It settles in your shoulders, in your chest, in your sleep. I told myself I'd rest once things slowed down, but things never slowed down. Success demands energy, and it doesn't care where that energy comes from. It will happily take it from your sleep, your peace, your health. You wake up tired, you go to bed exhausted, and somehow you accept this as normal. But constant exhaustion isn't normal. It's a warning. The problem is, when you're successful, people praise you for ignoring warnings. They admire your discipline, your drive, your work ethic. They don't see the toll it's taking behind the scenes. And then there are relationships. This is where the cost becomes painful. Relationships don't break suddenly. They fade.
Distance doesn't announce itself, it grows silently. You stop sharing details, you stop listening deeply, you stop being present. You're physically there, but mentally somewhere else, thinking about work, deadlines, pressure. I thought I was providing, but what the people around me needed wasn't provision, it was presence. And presence can't be postponed. Children don't wait for you to be less busy to grow up. Parents don't wait for you to have more time to age. Loved ones don't pause their lives until you're ready to show up. I remember realizing one day that I knew more about my work projects than the people I loved most. That should have scared me, but instead I told myself it was temporary. That word again, temporary. Success survives because of that word. Another cost no one talks about is identity. When your worth is tied to achievement, failure becomes terrifying. Rest feels like laziness. Stillness feels unproductive. You forget who you are without your role. I wasn't just working hard. I was hiding. Hiding behind busyness, behind productivity, behind goals. Because as long as I was busy, I didn't have to face the uncomfortable questions. Am I happy? Is this enough? Is this really what I want? Success keeps you distracted from yourself. And the worst part? You don't even realize you're losing things until you try to slow down. That's when the silence feels heavy. That's when you notice how tired you are. That's when you realize how distant some relationships have become. By then, some damage is already done. I'm not saying success is evil. I'm saying it's incomplete. It promises fulfillment, but delivers pressure. It promises security, but creates fear of losing it. It promises happiness, but demands constant effort to maintain. And if you're not careful, it becomes a cage made of comfort and expectation. You stay because leaving feels risky. You continue because stopping feels irresponsible. You keep going because everyone expects you to, even when your heart is asking for something different. The hidden cost of success is that it convinces you this is the only way to live, that wanting something simpler means you're ungrateful, that slowing down means you're failing. That's not true. Some of the most successful people I know are the most exhausted, disconnected, and anxious. They achieved everything they wanted, except peace. And peace isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. In the next part, I'll tell you about the moment everything became clear for me. The moment I finally understood that the version of success I was chasing was never designed to make me whole.
The realization didn't come during a celebration. It didn't arrive with applause or achievement. It came quietly. One ordinary day in an ordinary moment when there was finally nothing urgent to do. I had reached a place I once dreamed of. The income was stable, the title was respected, the pressure had eased just enough for me to breathe. And that's when the truth showed up. I looked around my life and asked myself a simple question. If this is success, why don't I feel fulfilled? There was no dramatic answer, just silence. That silence was louder than any failure I'd ever faced. For the first time, I stopped running. And when you stop running, you start seeing. I saw how much of my life had been spent preparing to live instead of actually living. How many moments I postponed. How many conversations I rushed. How often I told myself I'd start enjoying life soon. Soon never arrived. What I learned is this: success is a terrible teacher of meaning. It teaches you how to achieve, but not how to live. It teaches you how to win, but not how to be content. It teaches you how to impress, but not how to connect. No one teaches you that a good life is not built through accumulation, but through attention. Attention to people, attention to moments, attention to yourself. I started asking different questions, not what's next,
But what's enough? Not how can I earn more, but what actually brings me peace? Those questions changed everything. I realized that most of what I was chasing had nothing to do with joy. It had to do with fear. Fear of falling behind. Fear of disappointing others. Fear of being seen as average. We don't chase success because we love it. We chase it because we're afraid. Afraid of being left out. Afraid of not being respected. Afraid of not being enough. And here's the truth that took me decades to learn. You don't need to earn your worth. You already have it. No title will make you more valuable. No bank balance will make you more human. No achievement will make you more deserving of rest, love, or peace. I wish someone had told me that earlier. What actually matters is embarrassingly simple. Time with people who make you feel seen, work that doesn't drain your soul, mornings you don't dread, evenings that feel calm, a life that feels aligned with who you are, not who you're trying to impress. I began to redefine success. Success became waking up without anxiety. Success became being present in conversations. Success became saying no without guilt. Success became choosing health over hustle. Success